channel. So today I wanted to do a very quick makeup tutorial on this look for you guys using the brand new Lolita eyeshadow palette from Kat Von D. It looks like this. And then I also picked up the new Lolita Everlasting Glimmer Veil liquid lipstick, which I have placed on top of the normal Lolita Everlasting liquid lipstick. And I'm using a whole bunch of other Kat Von D products as well. And this was the first time I used it. Now I'm going to film a review as well. So hopefully you'll see one or the other and enjoy the video. So make sure that you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you all later. Bye. Hello everyone. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is priming my eyes using the P. Louise base in the shade Rumour. This will keep your eyeshadow in place all day, make it look really vibrant, stop it from creasing, and just keeps it looking fabulous. Now using the Lolita palette, and the first shade I'm using is called Promesa, and I am going all over the lid to kind of set the eyeshadow a little bit, the base that is, using a Morphe M330 brush. Then I'm going to be using the Alchemist palette, and I'm using the shade called Amethyst, and I'm applying it all over my brow bone to give it that nice little kind of holographic look and to make it look purple basically. Then the next shade I'm using is called Besitos, and I am using the same Morphe brush to go backwards and forwards in the crease. By all means build it up to the intensity that you want. I think I went in about 2 times to build up this shade, so just go backwards and forwards in your crease, blending as you go in windshield wiper motions, just so that it looks nice and soft and smooth. Then the next shade I'm going to be using is called Mascara, and I am using the same Morphe brush and going directly into the crease, but not completely dragging it upwards, because I'm really trying to create a kind of transition from dark to light. So again, go backwards and forwards with this shade in windshield wiper motions, blending it into the shade above. Then I am using the shade called Recuerdos, and I am using a 228 Luxe Crease brush by Zoeva, and I'm going into the outer V area and just kind of blobbing it into the corner before I start to drag it inwards. Then using the same Morphe brush to blend out the edges, as this is a deep purplish shade and can be a little bit difficult to blend, and then just go back with the Zoeva brush again. Then I'm using the shade Besitos, again going around the edges like I said before, just to blend out the edges of that purple shade. Then I'm using the shade called Corazon, and I'm using the same Zoeva brush and going over the deeper shade just to create more of a plummy kind of effect. Make sure I'm checking both sides are even, because it can happen. And then using the same Morphe brush again to blend out the edges. Then I'm using the Metal Crush highlighting palette by Kat Von D again, and I am using the shade called Rose Shock, and I'm applying it all over the lid using a 234 Smoky Shade brush by Zoeva, and I am just applying it quite thickly so that I can make it really intense, and then just using the Zoeva brush to blend between the edges. Now I'm using the shade called Eterno, and I am using a Royal & Langnickel Pro Pencil blender brush, but I am just kind of almost creating a line, and I'm not dragging it out, so that I can use the shade Lolita and the same brush to kind of smoke it out, blend it out, look a little bit less harsh, but it still gives that nice kind of smoked out effect on the lower lash line. Then I'm using my Rimmel Scandaleyes Kohl Kajal in the shade Black, as I always do, to line my waterline, because it's just what I do all the time. And then I'm using the NYX matte liquid liner to line my eyes. This is one of my favourite eyeliners. It leaves a really nice matte finish. I generally have to layer it twice just to make sure that it's black and intense. And now I am using the shade called Sapphire from the Alchemist palette, and I'm applying it with a MAC 219 pencil brush to the tear duct. This is just, I'm using this kind of shade just to kind of counteract the lots of purples and pinks, just to make it a little bit different. Now I'm using the Volumazing mascara by Revlon to prep my eyelashes, so that I can then use the Lilly lashes in the style Miami, and I am applying it to my eyes very slowly using my lash applicator from Primark. Then I use my Tweezerman tweezers just to kind of shift them around, stick them down, make sure that they don't move or budge, and they look fabulous and fluttery. Then I'm using my Push Up Angel mascara by Maybelline, as I always do, for my lower lash line, and voila, the face is now done. Now, oh sorry, the eyes are done, now the face I mean. Now I'm using the Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D. I'm using the shade called Shadow Play, and I am contouring my face using a Sigma large angled contour F40 brush,
This is to make my face look a little less flat, a little bit more defined, a little bit sharper. I have a kind of an oval sort of face, so I like to bring a little bit of shape dimension to it. So do the nose as well as your underneath, what's this called? Your chin, your neck, you silly woman. Yeah, that's it, your neck. I'm using the Fenty powder, and I am using a Morphe contouring brush just to kind of cut and tidy up my face. This was actually the first time I was using this powder. I really don't recommend it, so ignore this part of the video. It's just obviously I've done a review since then and it wasn't great, and I brushed it all off using a Real Techniques contour brush. As you can see, it leaves a very, very harsh white line, which isn't great, but the way to sort that out is just to get your contouring brush back out with no extra product, just to blend out that line so that it's not so harsh and obvious, because obviously you don't want a harsh line. Now I'm using the Kat Von D blush eyeshadow. I'm applying it to my cheeks using a Royal and Langnickel blush brush. I went in a little bit heavy, and off camera I kind of blended it out, so don't worry guys, I know you're afraid for me. Then I'm using the shade called Helix, and I am applying it to my cheekbones using a Morphe M501 pointed blender brush on the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose, and my Cupid's bow, just to make my lips look a little bit fuller. And then once I've done that, I'm using the Kat Von D Lolita Everlasting Liquid Lipstick. I'm applying that all over my lips. Such a pretty colour. I love this shade. It's so gorgeous, and I think it definitely looks amazing on all skin tones. So I applied that first and then kind of let it dry before using the Glimmer Veil lipstick also in the shade Lolita, and I'm applying it all over the lips. It instantly transforms the colour as well, makes it look a little bit lighter and shimmery. And then that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.